Okay, we're back for the Battle of Rolla. So this is a little bit different map than the Springfield one. Different region of Missouri, I guess. And it gave us a meeting situation, but this time it gave the Federals ownership of the objective point, which is right here in the middle of the map at, what's it called? It's called Mosini Gap. The Federals Road is up here, and we started down here in the southwest corner. So I was looking around at the terrain, and it was pretty problematic because they own the objective. So even though it's a meeting engagement, I couldn't be sure that they would attack into us. And it sits up here in the middle of the map. You know, there's a lot of terrain, a lot of hilly terrain, and the center of the map is kind of elevated around all of this area around it. No matter which way one approaches, either from the south along the Mosini Road, or I considered looping around Deweyville and coming up this way through the woods, none of it looked good. And in fact, he was actually defending toward Deweyville, which is interesting, because this other route was the more direct route. If I had been in his shoes, the way I came is the way I would have expected the AI to come. So, you know, attacking up this slope, I sure as heck didn't want to do that. If he had been defending in this area, I didn't want to attack up this way either. There was no good way to get close to the gap. So my original idea was hopefully maybe I could establish a line down here by the Cheswold farm and use the calf to make contact and kind of goad him into action and draw him down this way into me. I didn't know if that would work, but I thought that was what I was going to try. And what actually wound up happening was I moved the cav down over this way, closer to the objective to find him. I kind of moved him around about in this area where Johnson's division is right now, right up here to the edge of this crest. And as soon as I keep forgetting that brigade, Marmaduke, as soon as Marmaduke and Van Dorn got up here with the scouts active, they caught sight of the Federals over here facing this way. At the time, they did not have that entrenchment. I think they built that during deployment phase. But they did not react to his presence. So I think our cav had them in sight, but they could not see him. And it was already late in the afternoon anyway. So what I did was I brought all the infantry divisions and the arty over in this direction, but I kept them below the crest. I just marched them here in march order and just plopped them right here just below, at the, kind of on halfway up the slope where they wouldn't be sighted, and waited for nightfall. With that position here, that gave us a forward enough deployment line where I could deploy over on top of this crest and have a little bit of local high ground to myself instead. And that's how we've deployed. So we've got the two bigger divisions, Johnson's and Rhodes. Well, Slack's kind of small there. Right, that's one of the original Missouri State Guard brigades. So the two bigger divisions are over here. I've got Rhodes in the middle. I had very few engineering points, just enough for basically one decent breastwork. And so, and then there was also a fence here on this side of the road. So here's where we're positioned. We're the center of the line. Got one division over here, We've got some supporting horse artillery. I was originally, this breastwork's a little longer because I was originally going to put the divisional horse artillery here on the breastwork, but it looks like nice elevated spot. And here we go again. I think he can fire over the line from there. I've guessed wrong on that before, so we'll see. I got Bragg's corps level artillery up here on a decent piece of high ground here. And then the smaller division Raines's division, but they're kind of I won't say they're the best arm, but they're kind of the longest ranged arm because Waitman has Mississippi rifles. Clark had actually recovered about 300 men since the last time I looked at his status. So the replenishment coming in from the manpower pool is pretty good. His morale's good. And I was able to do all this and keep their cohesion good, keep their fatigue good. Of course, it's been overnight. But a lot of times when you redeploy on the morning of the second day, their cohesion is wrecked. But I don't have that problem with any of these guys. And then I reload. The right is kind of anchored sort of on those woods to some degree. And I move the cav way over here to the left flank. So these are smaller brigades, and then the cav brigade over here on the left. But long-range Mississippi rifles, I think that this force should be plenty enough to cover Bragg's artillery and make sure that we keep possession of the true high ground in the area. This peak here, which is Greeley Mountain. Of course, Pine Mountain is even much higher than that, but I don't think that's going to be a factor in this battle. So initially, I want to see if the Federals will attack into this. They may not. They may just come over here and get on this fence line. If that happens, this division can kind of move along in here and come in on the flank this way. And the Cav and Raines's division can come down on them from high ground and Mississippi rifles. And I think maybe be able to put fire on the Federal flank that would outrange them. So that's kind of the concept. And it is 7 o'clock in the morning on day 2. Which nothing really happened on day 1 except marching. Not a shot was fired. Somehow I lost 75 men and somehow he lost 150 men. I don't know what from because there was no combat. Actually, if you look in the HQ, strength report. Yeah. No killed or wounded, just 75 missing from me and 162 missing from him. So that, I guess regular attrition continues during tactical map battles overnight. And so this is some combination of sick guys and deserted guys on both sides. Not battle losses. I guess. Let's take a look and see what the Union Army actually has in it. 3 divisions, one of which has absolutely nothing in it. That's interesting. No troops. So there's really only 2 divisions, of which one has got, the 1st division has, looks like 3 infantry brigades, including one that can't be quite that large, so our estimate is off. So 3 infantry brigades and an artillery battalion. And then the 2nd Division has 2 extremely small brigades that have skirmishers out, and 1 pretty big cavalry brigade, plus 1 artillery battery. That's pretty small. That could be horse artillery. Either that or it's a regular battery that has been really ground down. Okay, so this infantry isn't an enormous threat. They'll be pretty well outgunned. I bet these are the ones that are sitting in that trench line. And the 1st Division got 1 really big brigade and then 2 kind of medium-sized brigades. Okay, let's get time rolling. I think there are... these guys are not quite in... Okay, this is their originally when I placed them, they were in range. But this is their redeployment, so they've turned to face us. Line of sight's pretty good, though. They can unobstructed all the way across here. So the question is, are they going to advance to meet us? Are they just going to come to this fence line, or are they actually going to attack? Let's find out. Let's get time rolling. Oh, he put up some trench lines. Facing this way. But the objective is out here in front. If I can slowly advance, you know, bring the center division up to this fence and have Johnson come up here, and he can build another breastwork here fairly quickly, and then I can just advance some skirms up here to take the objective, and that should goad him into attacking us. So we may take some artillery fire from his 1 battery, but we can just kind of slowly edge our line up to here, take control of the objective, and then he'll have to attack. I'm going to detach these little horse artillery batteries from their commanders so that they don't move with the infantry. Doesn't mean I'm not going to move them at all. I just don't want to moving in line with the infantry. Okay, let's move this division up to here on the fence. Move these fellas right about to here, and when they get there, get them working on some breastworks. Advance this division to here, and reins to about I want to leave kind of a gap in here for Braggs's artillery. I don't think I need to move Bragg's artillery, really. Because the edge of their firing envelope is just right here. So once they come out, as I think they will once they lose this objective, they should be fine right where they are. And we'll move these horse artillery up a little bit. No. Limber him up first. That was the wrong, but that was the wrong, that was the wrong battalion. This is the one I want. See, limbered. Yes. Okay, we're already capturing without having to put skirms out. I'm going to extend this far enough that the artillery can use it too. Spurt skirms out to kind of take the artillery fire instead of the brigade. Well, this unit, 1st Brigade, is already wavering. That's just a detachment. It's really the only target Bragg has, because his firing arc doesn't quite reach to the trench. I'm going to ease Bragg's artillery up just a little bit so that they can hit stuff actually in the trench. The parapet. Don't need to move them up too far. And I don't, there's kind of a little bit of a dip right in here. I don't want them down in that. I wonder if it's worth the time and fatigue to bring them up here. That's a pretty commanding position all through here. I'm gonna take the time to do that. Hopefully they don't get, hopefully they're not too slow going up that slope. With that, let's just kind of move reins a little bit to the right. And about, yeah, there we go. Let's move this Horse Arty Battalion. This looks like a good spot. Move Rhodes up just a little bit, closer to his brigades. Move Price up a little bit. Well, they're not taking the bait with the objective captured. They're still sitting in their parapet. Is there any movement going on in here? No. Well, these Arty battalions are kind of chugging up this hill pretty good. Still showing well rested for fatigue. That's cool. Okay, Slack is now in cover on this fence line. This brigade, Johnson's still working on this breastwork. Although, I don't know if he's going to be able to use it because I don't think the Federals are going to attack. Let's move Bragg up just a little bit closer. Well, these two batteries are kind of down in that hollow. I don't know. That may not be a hot spot for them. Should probably move both of these batteries kind of up on this crest. Okay, let's unlimber Bragg's battalions. Oh, he was still moving. I thought he had gotten where he was supposed to go. Interestingly, we don't get credit for having taken that objective. Still 0.0. I know it's not incremental and keeps going, but I thought just taking it once would give a victory point. But it didn't give... apparently the Federals didn't start with any VP for that objective at the battle start either. Okay, now let's get Bragg to unlimber. Should be able to hit units in the parapets now. I think I might tell him, or not. That didn't look. That doesn't seem to have improved anything. I don't know why not. It seems perfectly clear all the way through there. Unless I can't see that that little skirmisher unit would be breaking their line of sight to the earthworks. Okay, they're not going to come out. That is disappointing. Okay, plan B. Let's get some skirmishers out from Johnson's division. And let's have them kind of oblique up here into the edge of the woods, like that. And we'll slowly edge them forward in such a way that the skirmishers engage, and that may entice them out of their earthworks. Kind of looks like Johnson built this breastwork for nothing. See if Bragg can bombard this area. Because I'm not sure that requires line of sight, since it's kind of a more general. I'm not seeing a whole lot going on over there. Well, the order hasn't gotten to him yet. Now we'll see what happens. Move slack up to this fence line. I'll wait till Johnson actually finishes his, oh, well. I never unlimbered those guys. Let's move them up here first. Oh, he's done. Okay, well, so you built all that. You're not going to need it. Let's move you up to this way. Let's get the division commander up here. Unlimber that battery. Okay, I don't see any bombardment happening here. I guess you do need line of sight. I kind of thought it might be a indiscriminate kind of fire in that direction sort of thing. They can't hit that battery either. And it looks like it's that darn skirmisher unit that is blocking line of sight. And let's just put them back on fire at will for now. Because at least taking casualties. Not too many. I feel like we're kind of wasting arty ammunition on this. Johnson up a little bit more in these woods. I don't know what the hell Bushrod Johnson's doing here. Like, why wouldn't he just advance straight to this position? Crazy AI maneuvering. A brigade in here, even though we periodically lose sight of him from time to time. Is Johnson taking fire? Not artillery fire. He's lost 44 men to something. Move this already up a little bit closer. Kind of the idea of having them with the infantry is to be close enough to provide canister fire. So we've gotten this guy to turn enough that he no longer has cover from that earthwork. And he's wavering. Don't know why. Hasn't taken a lot of losses. He's not being fired upon by artillery. Or is he? He is, okay. That's probably what's making him waver. Nice job, Horse Artie. Okay, now we got second brigade moving forward. It's kind of what I was hoping to instigate. Fatigue and cohesion good on Pierce's brigade. Not quite as good on Cheatham, but he's looking okay, good and rested. He's got more. He's been moving more through the forest than Pierce did. Turn that gunfire down a little bit. So there's one artillery and one wavering brigade. He's back in cover now, though. It's kind of a Blake Johnson this way. Get his skirmisher involved. Yes, I could move the skirmisher. I like to keep my skirmishers pretty close to their parent brigades. I see many campaigns of people playing and doing it very effectively. I am not at all criticizing. It's just a playstyle thing, not a right or wrong thing. But they'll move skirmishers all over the place, far away from their parents, which has a lot of advantages. But what I like to do is just keep them close so that when they do engage, they don't have very much loss resilience, you know, like this. I like it so that I can fold them back in real quick, kind of erase their lost resilience, replenish their ammunition, and then pop them back out. There we go. See, he's firing from there. Are these skirms firing? No. Kind of put them over here this way. The skirms are doing okay. It's one of those small brigades here. Johnson's full brigade is now firing on these guys with his newly acquired Lorenz rifles. We can go ahead and pull his skirmisher in. Can't quite tell what the horse artillery is firing at. Pointed in this direction. Okay, Bushrod is only firing right at the very edge, so let's push him up just a little bit closer. I don't know, yeah, I think it's time for Pierce's skirms to come back in before they break. Advance him just a little bit. This wavering battalion is coming back out of cover. I don't know quite where he's going. Pull these skirms in. I think they're just blocking line of sight now. Ideally, I'm keeping these I'm trying to keep these guys in a position where they're not engaging any infantry in the earthworks, which right now there are none anymore. This guy's getting a little bit of forest cover. I think it's time to move Raines's division forward. Let's get him to drive off these skirmishers. Put some skirmishers out of your own. Move slack up enough where his skirms can start firing on this battery. I don't know if that guy's doing any good. Let's move him up closer. Number up. Come right to here. Okay, so he has reoriented himself and is now pushing in on Bushrod Johnson, which just means he's going to get flanking fire from over here. Let's just change Cheatham's facing a little bit here. Okay, his cavalry is coming into the scrum. It is a bit of a scrum. They're kind of blocking each other's line of sight in there. Let's get these skirmishers firing on this battery. Who is that? That is... It's upside down. Prentice. Prentice is starting to take some serious fire now. Johnson's still doing okay, casualty-wise. Took my sweet time unlimbering this battery. As soon as it gets just a shot or two in on this brigade, it should break them, I would think. I don't know if he's quite in canister range, but just taking artillery fire at all should be enough to send him over the edge. There you go. I can't see his firing cone to see if he's inside that canister line. Is there still a brigade in there? The artillery, Cav probably has superior, not that. I always click that detachment. Yeah, he's still there. Man, they're right there in front of you. How are you not firing? You can't see that you've got line of sight blocked. That's frustrating. Don't really want to move you forward very much. Okay, they are evacuating. Take a look at this situation here. So this brigade, I think that's Hazen, looks like he's evacuating the earthworks. So their rightmost unit is this small brigade here and the artillery. Neither of which have cover. He no longer has cover. Let's advance Raines's division now a little bit further. Let's move the cavalry over here. Let's go ahead and move. brag up a little bit. See if we can actually get him shooting at something worthwhile. Okay, there he goes. I'm getting some artillery on him. He's wavering, moving. Slack's brigade moving forward a little bit. Oh, we're just about to retreat now. We get to retreat phase. 17. He's taken 1,900 casualties. It's pretty substantial for armies this size. Okay, we need to get... Guys are firing, but we need to get guys advancing too. Because we're about to go into the chase mode. None of these Federals are in cover anymore in the trenches or in forest. Let's keep the pressure up. Move these two horse artillery over to this little knoll. Alright, well, I've already got guys moving forward. Slack to move forward a little bit more. Let's get his... Well, he was already firing that artillery. That's good. Alright, that brigade is broken. Let's get pull in those scouts. That's a small brigade. I'm going to stay mounted, see how that works out. That was a horse artillery unit, a small one. We saw in the strength report. Crossed the threshold for major victory. They're at 23% losses. Alright. Come on, Marmaduke. Start shooting. Okay, he broke. I think everything inside is already broken. And as I've said before, once they're fully broken, your guys really just don't do anything to them. So, and we got the major victory done. So, I'm just gonna go 10x and let's get out of this. Price prevails again. Entrenched line, slow, methodical advance, paying attention to the ranges, kind of nibbling at the edges, the ends, the flanks. Letting it develop slowly. It may not be the most compelling video of a battle, but it works. And it keeps the casualties down. We took 400 casualties overall compared to 3,200 from just about equal size armies. He lost 20 out of his 30 guns. I don't know if that horse artillery battery he had way in the rear, I don't know if that was ever engaged. So, nice job, Price and company. Okay. Marmaduke's brigade is now up to 2 stars of experience. That's good. I wonder if he's got his perk slot open yet. Considered the best brigade in the army. Okay, so, but Johnson's division, that's the center division, inflicted the most casualties. No, Johnson was on the right. He was the guy edging along the woods. So that makes sense that he inflicted the most casualties. Rhodes' division not far behind, with the involvement of Bushrod Johnson's infantry brigade. Yeah, who did way more than Slack's State Guard 4th Brigade, which is much smaller and was over on the left. And then Rain's division did a little bit. as they pushed in on those skirmishers and probably got some shots into that one brigade that evacuated their trenches. Kind of surprised Van Dorn's cav only did... I guess he was only really engaged right there at the end against that small brigade. So, okay. How did Bragg's... Yeah, Bragg's artillery did squat for casualties. I think they burned so much ammo on that that skirm unit that was sitting out there in the field. I mean, it looked like I had great positions for that artillery on high ground with clear fields of fire. It just didn't work out that way. I think on the tactical map, one of my biggest weaknesses, and I've read other people talk about their frustration with it too, is figuring out what artillery will or will not be able to see and to fire on. That is an ongoing puzzle. See how those horse artillery batteries did. This guy inflicted 4 casualties. Laws did 26. And Patton did 24. 24, 26, 27 for Bragg, so 5 batteries, 5 battalions of artillery. Not quite 100 casualties between them. No, six battalions. Of course, they all still have the base level 6-pounders. I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold on this idea I had about horse artillery for the infantry divisions. I mean, I kind of talked earlier episode. I talked through my rationale for going that way, but I am not sold on my own idea. Enough jibber jabber. Let's get out of this. And we're about halfway to St. Louis. This is the 4th battle in Missouri, and we had the initial battle in Virginia before all that. So we've now won 5 consecutive battles in a row. That should pop open another one of our main strategic objectives, which in turn should result in another national morale loss for the Union. Or maybe it's a national morale boost for us. We still get the national morale drop for the Union just from the battle itself. Glorious victory, Army of the Mississippi fleeing in panic, support for the Yankee cause, waivers. We have captured about 1,500 small arms. It says rifles, but that could include smoothbores. Maybe that's where those Springfield rifles came from that I had in the armory. Captured from these guys in Missouri. Actually, we're about 2/3 of the way to St. Louis. With a retreating army, the only thing between us and that city, still green readiness. Yeah, this is the headline for the 5 in a row. Unstoppable, Yankees forced to skedaddle, Southern morale intact. Let's see what exactly that. So for now, I got the yes on 5 consecutive battles. Okay, that's a buff to our own national morale, not a nerf to a Union. So we're at 97 national morale with 100% support overall. So we are doing pretty good on that front. Yankee morale is down to 75 already. We're up to 95,000 soldiers in uniform. And after doing that Militia Act 2, the Union's now up to a little over 100,000. Of course, his Navy is much bigger. And ours has come up some, but that includes, I think, the frigates and the ironclad currently building. Obviously, the casualties gap is widening. He's still popping away with his blockade, though. Alright, let me... In any case, I was about to end this episode anyway, and obviously I need to answer the phone. Thank you very much for watching.